agree with you. And saying anger harms us is not being judgmental. You're bad because you're angry. You have no right. Not at all. But in the end, anger is like eating poison and expecting the other person to die. Right? So, if you take a little bit here, your anger will be reduced a little bit. So a little bit more freedom. Forgiving is also an important part. What does this one, Mr. Dalai Lama, say about forgiving? What does it say about forgiveness?
It's the person, not the action.
Forgive the person, not the action. The action, right? Here, we separate them. We don't have hatred for the action. Never. We have hatred for the person. But we can forgive the person and not the action. That's okay. And that's the forgiveness we're looking for, because the person and the action are not the same. They're not the same. So
can we be angry with the action?
Yeah, but that's not even... Yes, you can be angry with an action, which is kind of impossible. Can you burn ice? Yeah, you can do that, but it doesn't really work. In the end, we say that because we can't be angry with an action. It doesn't work. We always are angry with the person. We're not just, oh, I love that person, I hate that action. It doesn't work. You can't do that. So, therefore, forgiveness is not about saying it's okay. The action is not okay. It's just not okay. No one deserves to be raped. No one, and no person has the right to rape someone else. But forgiveness is the first step of being able to overcome that pain. But I'm not saying it's okay, and I still, for the sake of that person, they should be disciplined and punished. Because otherwise, what is the result of it? The karmic result could be a lot worse versus now being disciplined for that. So out of compassion for that person, definitely disciplining them. Right? And everyone else.
Even you understand the emptiness of
Mm-hmm.
but
you still live in a conventional world and you have to act accordingly. I couldn't agree more. Right? Even though this person has not inherently raped, but conventionally they have raped, and conventionally they have to be taken apart from everyone else and locked away for their own sake and others' sake, and also a form of purifying the karma through a kind of punishment. Even though they may not want it, but out of compassion, this is a kind of purification of the karma, working up the karma through imprisoning them, for instance. So there are many reasons for disciplining. It's very important. Compassion comes from the heart. Compassion is not the external action. Like, you all know about, and that, I mean, you are mothers, or if you're not mothers, you know about that. You may discipline your child, that's the action, but it doesn't mean you have to hate that child. You need to punish it when it's necessary. It doesn't need to come from hatred. That's all we're saying, right? Okay, so important aspects, those are all important. Now, having said all this, having talked about dependence, so if it were not dependently arisen, how could suffering come to be? If it existed inherently, how can we suffer? Only the impermanent, only that which is impermanent is suffering. But if it doesn't depend on anything, so suffering cannot exist inherently. Right? So, well, since it is impermanent, since only the impermanent can be suffering, something permanent cannot be suffering. Suffering is something impermanent, the mind, the person, that is suffering. But that, by definition, since it's impermanent, depends on something else. It depends on causes and conditions, so it can't exist inherently. If it existed inherently, how could it have an origin? How could there be an origin of suffering? How could there be a cause of suffering? Thus, for one who undermines emptiness, there can be no cause of suffering. If suffering existed inherently, its cessation would not exist. So here Nagarjuna is kind of getting back at the other person. What you accused me of, well, it actually can be totally applied to you. You were mounting a horse and forgot you mounted it. You don't realize this is the absurdity of your view. So if one takes it to exist, if cessations were to exist, if suffering existed inherently, then cessation could not exist because you could not remove it. It would always be there. Because you couldn't interact with something else, and in dependence on that, go out of existence. Right? It either never existed or it would always exist. So, you undermine cessation. If the path existed inherently, meditation wouldn't be feasible. You couldn't enhance the path. You couldn't path some method, such as love, compassion, but then meditation, the reason for meditation is to grow that method stronger, make it stronger. You can't do that. It's inherently, it already is, cannot be changed, so why would you meditate? Meditation just means to familiarize more with it, so they grow stronger. If the path is to be meditated, your path cannot exist inherently. Right? If you can meditate on it, if you can change it, if you can transform it through meditation, through practice, a method can become stronger, etc., more effective, well, it cannot exist in and of itself. So there's nothing difficult about this. It's just now going through all these absurdities. If suffering, its origin and its cessation did not exist, what path could be asserted to bring about the cessation of suffering? What path would that be? If they existed inherently, you'll be stuck with them. You will have suffering all the time, you have an origin all the time, cessation wouldn't be possible, and even if it was possible, it'd always be there, you wouldn't need a path. If a lack of completely understanding existed inherently, how could it become complete understanding? How could you go from a state of not understanding to understanding? Because you're inherently not understanding, so how could that state of your mind, not understanding, become a mind that does understand? How could that transformation take place? Right? Our mind, in one moment, doesn't understand. You have a question, you don't understand. There's an explanation given. A moment later, you can understand. Because your mind is flexible. Because causes and conditions can affect it. That wouldn't take place if it existed inherently. So a lack of complete understanding could never turn into understanding. For you, just like complete understanding, eliminating the origin of suffering, actualizing the cessation of suffering, and meditating on the path, and of course also complete understanding of the first truth. So the first truth, understanding the first truth, eliminating the second truth, actualizing the third truth, and meditating on the fourth truth, and the four results, dream enter, etc., they would not make sense either. None of that would be possible. You couldn't interact with those. So it's really like, it seems like, kind of, why am I saying it? But this is huge. Everything we take for granted is only possible because things don't exist in and of themselves. Because they're merely labeled. All this is possible. So we may think nothing is possible because they don't exist inherently. In fact, it's the other way around. So actually, the person who's refuting the Buddhists in the first 6 verses, they could be us. That's how it feels. Right? Inherent existence, you kidding me, nothing is possible. No, everything is possible because of that. For one who grasps an inherence, how would it be possible to attain the four results that are inherently unattained? You haven't attained them. It's inherent in you that you don't attain them. So how can you attain them? It's inherent in you. It's natural for you to not attain them. How could you attain them? Okay? Kind of like dry water. Right? We have a sense it's inherently in the water. It's inherent in the water to be wet. Well, we have a feeling it's inherent in us to not have those realizations. Well, then you could never change it. Without the results, there would be no dwelling in the result, abiding, dwelling in the result, nor would there be anyone entering it. If the 8 kinds of beings or persons did not exist, so those who enter the results, those who approach the results, and who achieve those 4 results, so 4 approaches, 4 abiders, like those 4 people wouldn't be possible, so you wouldn't have the Sangha. Since noble truth would not exist, the same argument as before, noble truth don't exist, those people achieving the results, there would be no noble Dharma, and there would neither be Dharma nor Sangha. Also, it would follow that there's no Buddha. If there were neither Dharma nor Sangha, how could there be a Buddha? There's no Dharma, there's no Buddha. And likewise, it would follow that a Buddha would not depend on enlightenment, because a Buddha would exist inherently as a Buddha, would not depend on enlightenment. So, a Buddha without enlightenment, how would that work? And likewise, enlightenment would not depend on a Buddha. They exist in and of themselves. For you, someone who is inherently not a Buddha could not attain enlightenment, even if he or she exerted himself in the Bodhisattva practices to become enlightened. So, if hypothetically you could work to become a Buddha, right? You exert yourself, which of course would also not be possible, but let's say hypothetically it was, you could never become a Buddha, because you're inherently not a Buddha. Your state of not being a Buddha is inherent to you. No one could ever perform virtuous or non-virtuous actions. If all this were not empty, what could one do? If it didn't lack inherent existence, what could we do? We couldn't do anything. There are no inherent actions. So you could say that, therefore, there are no inherent actions possible. According to you, there would be a result even without virtuous or non-virtuous causes. So you could experience happiness without a virtuous action. You could feel unhappy without a non-virtuous action. It'd be possible, without any cause or condition. And we feel that often. No reason I feel unhappy. Right? Actually, right? According to you, there would be no result